Hello everyone, and happy St. Patrick's Day! So today, of course, Campaign 8 Week 10, Day 4. So today, we are going to be, of course, continuing the grind. The main thing that Jim's Award did for St. Patrick's Day this week is, well, a whole week of Vault events. So, of course, we've been kind of doing that this entire time. Apparently, they have a gem sale as well. However, the more important thing is that we've had a week-long Vault event in celebration of St. Patrick's Day. And, yeah, we're just now getting to the point where it'd be a weekend Vault event. So normally, if it was a weekend Vault event, it would start in 6 hours from now. However, obviously, it's been going on for the last 4 days, so it's, yeah, it's just now starting where we would normally have a Vault event, well, in 6 hours from now. But yeah, it's still Vault event right now, and still will be for the next 3 days, so definitely plenty of time to grind out the Vault event. It's basically halfway through at this current moment in time. Pretty much halfway. 6 hours ago, I guess, was technically exactly halfway, but close enough. But, yeah, we'll keep continuing on the grind. Obviously, based on our Mimic counter down there, one of our main goals is still to try to find this Mimic. It is very elusive. Hopefully, by the end of this week, we will have it. I definitely want to power grind a bit more this weekend, as well as tonight, as well as tomorrow night. But, yeah, we're just going to keep making progress on it until we get it. Even after this Vault event is done, if we still don't have it, we're going to keep grinding for it until we have it. But, eventually we'll have it. It's only a matter of time. But anyways, that's our main goal for today. Continue to go on the grind for the Horde Mimic. See if we can actually get this thing. Hopefully get lucky. It is St. Patrick's Day after all. Today would be a good day to increase our luck. So I don't have any 4-leaf clovers though. Cover the whole screen in 4-leaf clovers. Also, those are only 3-leaf clovers. Those aren't lucky. Give us 4-leaf clovers. I didn't even notice that. Those are only 3 leaves. We got gypped. Unless there's a rare chance for one of them to be 4 times. Wouldn't that be funny? That's something they need to add. They need to add a clover gem, a green clover gem. How have they not done that yet? Oh, that would be perfect for St. Patrick's Day. Like an actual power gem of clover that counts as like a green, and when you match it, there's no way they would be able to code it. But, though who knows, maybe they would. But I would love to see like a green clover gem that when matched, every single thing in your subsequent chain will have a 100% chance of occurring. I'm not sure how broken that would be with some mechanics though, but like any % chance of occurring would have a 100% chance. Like if something only had a 10% chance to devour, if you took a clover that turn, it would have a 100% chance to devour. That would be a really funny mechanic. That would also be kind of broken on some things, but would be a really funny one. There's no way they would code that properly though. It would also be extremely complicated to code relative to the payout of what it would actually do. Because there's some effects in the game that would be really weird to do that for. Because there's so many things that it triggers. Like that one that has like 6 different, that one mythic, I can't remember its name. That one dragon mythic that has like anywhere from like 6 to 8 different RNG checks, all at 50% chance. Like imagine if it guaranteed did all of them. Because you took like a 4-leaf clover off the board. I would love to see that, though. Like, some kind of clover gem that increases your luck, or, like, literally guarantees your luck. Would be an interesting mechanic, especially if it guaranteed it, because it would get rid of the RNG factor. So you could build, like, a luck team that, like, constantly always gets high roll. Or, you know, always gets the correct roll for everything. At least when you take a clover. That would be such an interesting mechanic. I don't feel like it would be balanced at all. And there's no way they're going to code something like that. But it would be such a fun mechanic. Regardless of how broken it will be. But anyways, hello Isabel, hello Barbara, hello Bill, hello Tyrion, hello EH, hello Gimli, hello Mister, hello Gustavo, hello Isabel, hello Hollywood, hello Roman, hello Imperial, hello Dronian, hello Sushi Ninja, hello Barbara, hello everyone else. And hello everyone who hasn't said hello. Okay, so let's go and take our explodes. See if we can get a purple somewheres. That would be ideal. Like, literally anything that would help this team function would be great. What do we need here? But now I really want a clover gem. I'm actually surprised we haven't gotten that power gem. This seems like a really obvious one to do. Like, they literally even colored it for this holiday. Hopefully next St. Patrick's Day we'll get it. You never know. Because they did Lycanthropy for Halloween. There's no reason why they can't do, clovers for, next St. Patrick's Day. Also, that'd be funny if they gave Leprechaun that mechanic as well. Not like Leprechaun needs to be even more broken than it already is. A pot of gold mechanic would be kind of fun for him. That was actually a mechanic in Puzzle Quest 1, where you could like take gold off the course. But that'd be kind of interesting if there was like a pot of gold power gem. That counts as like a block, but if you destroy it, you get max gold. That'd be an interesting way to do the max gold mechanic. There's already some things that can end up doing it. However, most of them are pretty clunky to use. Like the mimics, the, that one dwarf that does that, like, what, 20% chance or something, and a few others. However, all the ones that do it instantly are kind of clunky. But if we had, like, a block gem of, like, a golden pot of gold, that'd be kind of interesting. Like, it wouldn't be that good, but there'd be some teams that would really appreciate that. Especially Leprechaun teams. Like, Leprechaun gold killing teams. Because the biggest issue with a common Leprechaun gold quick kill team is you normally struggle on getting max gold if you're going down the Leprechaun route. Like, you get your mana accumulation decently, but you struggle on the max gold aspect. And doing it that way would actually fix that. Though you would have to sacrifice one of your slots for it, of course. Because anything that had the pot of gold mechanic would need to have it. I definitely wouldn't want that to be a power gem for an entire season. But they've already added multiple power gems that did not ever come in through a season. There was Burn, there was Curse, there was Freeze. Actually, there's currently nothing that can even freeze currently. Nothing actually even has the freeze gem mechanic. It was added for like a week or a week or two during Christmas time, around then. And then it never came back. Like, literally nothing can even create it in the current state of the game. Which is kind of weird that they didn't even add a single option for it yet. But, I don't know, there's so many things they could do with it. And they definitely have plans for it. This most recent patch added a bunch of them that we don't even know what they are yet. Who knows, maybe those do exist now. They would have done the Clover one if it already existed. Because what better time than St. Patrick's Day? You feel like a green power gem would entangle a random enemy? Probably. Because it would go down the elemental path. Because we currently have 3 of them for elementals. Purple does Curse. Or sorry, multiple actually. More than 3. So purple does not Curse. My bad. Brown does Curse. Brown does Curse. Blue does Freeze. Red does Burn. And purple does Lycanthropy. So the only 2 we don't have are green and yellow. Yeah, green would probably Entangle or Enchant. Whereas yellow would likely Barrier. Or Bless. Probably Bless, because Barrier might be too broken. If there was a power gem that would Barrier. I know, because Puzzle Quest 3. They had a gem that did that, and they nerfed it into the ground in one of the patches about a month ago, because it was so broken beyond belief. So if they're going to add that to Gems of War, they definitely are going to learn from their mistake, hopefully, you would assume. And they would make it so yellow does Bless and not Barrier. Because if it does Barrier, it'll be so absurdly broken. This would be another way to have Cleanse. Though, I don't know, it could be kind of broken the other way around. Because there are some instances where you actually prefer to have Bless rather than Barrier. Because there's a lot easier ways to apply, it's a lot easier, even though Barrier's stronger in many situations, it's a lot easier to apply Barrier than is Bless. The big issue with Bless is once you action out of it, you don't have Bless anymore. Whereas Barrier stays on even if you action out of it. So you can, like, loop on the enemy team and still have your entire team blessed. Though if they did it, it would definitely only be one random ally, not your entire team. The only one that currently does your entire team for whatever reason is the Burn Gem. There's currently no other power gem in the entire game that hits all enemies simultaneously with their effect. Not to say that there won't be one in the future. Like a poison one. Oh yeah, green could do poison. It could poison all enemies. That would actually be an interesting one for a couple teams. There's already a couple good ways to poison. And a couple really bad ways to poison. So that have like an alternative method wouldn't be too horrible as long as it was on something that was actually like not useless. The problem is if they put it on something useless again. Your Paladin in Puzzle Quest 3 needs some blessing. Yeah, they nerfed Paladin into the ground. It's still usable in that game. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I still never farmed the ring on Puzzle Quest 3. I really hate that they're starting to do events like that. Like, oh, here's this like special item. And if you don't do it now, you'll miss out. Like, Gems of War somewhat does that, though the time frame to obtain it is way, way shorter. Like, I think I would have to grind Puzzle Quest 3 another, like, 3 hours to go get it. I'm not sure why they make all the time frames so bad in Puzzle Quest 3. Like, the Gems of War equivalence of most of those things is, like, barely any time at all. Like, for example, we're getting a new weapon, tomorrow. because we have a, we're getting a Glacial Peaks weapon, I believe. Like that weapon, even if you had 0 gems, or 0 resources in that regard, would take you like 3 hours tops to farm all those gems. And if you already had them, it literally takes no time at all. Whereas the way they implement it in Puzzle Quest 3, you literally have to grind regardless of how many resources you have. And it takes like 4 to 5 hours, if not more, to get all the rewards. You get the same equivalents to that in Gems of War. You could literally throw 210 gems tomorrow and you're done. Though obviously you ideally want to help your guild with the raid event as well. However, all you have to do is just throw 210 gems at it and you could technically stop and be good to go. And if you don't have those gems, you could just do Treasure Hunt for a few hours and be good to go. Or even just farm the Vault event. We have a Vault event going on. Though I would not advise doing Treasure Hunt during this time. But you might as well just farm the Vault event until you have those gems and then boom, you're good to go. Just open a few Vault keys, you'll be good to go. I'm just looking for something. Oh yeah, I was going to show the team. I mentioned this on Monday, but here's the team we're using for tomorrow, by the way. I might change up slightly, but I really want to see what happens with Mirrored Queen if it copies the Zugoff. But we're running Mang to Freya into Copycat Mirrored Queen. One interesting thing is when Freya first came into the game, I'm pretty sure we did not have Mirrored Queen because the Mirrored Halls didn't exist at the time. This is the only troop, or this is the first instance where we have ever had the capability to copy the special Zugoff on the opposing team. So I'm really curious to see what on earth will happen, if the game will crash, if it'll actually copy it properly. It should copy it properly. My main interest is what on earth is actually going to happen. Like, because the Zugoff that's in this mode is very weird. It has a super immune to insta-kill, and that even, like, normal insta-kills don't hit through it. But, it also has, like, a super overwrite insta-kill, in that, its insta-kill will overwrite all insta-kill immunities. So I want to see what will happen if you use 2 of them against each other. Because what should, in theory, happen is his super insta-kill will insta-kill the other Zugoff, which is actually something that is normally never possible. So I'm curious to see if that is possible, because that'll be really funny. There's an argument to be made, if it is possible, that it is actually realistic to run a 3-troop team for this event this weekend. Just for the fun of it. Like, when you reach the super deep end, I'm pretty sure it's fine just keeping it with 4, obviously. But there's actually a triple team that you could end up running, where you, like, rush up the Mirrored Queen, cast it to copy the enemy Zugoff, then just out-mana accumulate the enemy Zugoff, and then just insta-kill it with your Mega Zugoff. I feel like that'd be a bit slow, but it'll be really funny, and we're definitely gonna try it. Honestly, this might be the only raids I have ever looked forward to, because there's a really horrific, like, a really hilariously funny gimmick that we'll be able to end up utilizing for, assuming it works. There's a chance it just doesn't work, but it'll be really funny if it does. Like, I'm pretty sure it's going to work. I am, like, near certain it will actually work. Well, time will tell. Time will tell. When the internet blows up tomorrow, we know who to blame. I might even cover a little video on it just for fun, if it works. These will probably be up at 2 AM. Actually, we might even play the Mario Kart thing tonight. We'll see. Actually, I believe it's already out. I just haven't bothered playing it yet. I think it came out midday today. I thought it was going to come out at midnight or noon tomorrow, but I believe it's already out. Oh, it might be a time zone thing, though. Maybe it was people who used the Japanese localization. Because normally you can get it, like, 12 hours earlier. If you use, like, the Japanese time thing. But you have to, like, switch your account and everything. He's actually pretty hyped for that to get more content. I don't think they added too much. They just added a bunch of courses. I still kind of want to mess with it. It's going to be probably a pretty short stream. We'll do it for, like, an hour or 2. Oh yeah, resets at 3 AM now. I forgot. It's not 2 AM anymore. Oh no! I'll probably still be up. My sleep schedule's been all over the place. It'll be fine. I got it, like, slightly back to normal and then immediately not back to normal. So it'll be fine. Probably. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Reset is at 3. That hasn't been relevant for me yet because I haven't tried doing any video at night yet since the time went back. I guess technically on Monday, but that one was already, like, ready to go. Because we were pretty much streaming up to that point anyways. Arania in there. Not too bad. A little something something. But yeah, did any of you guys do anything special for St. Patrick's Day? My day was pretty normal. Though I did order some food, if nothing else. But, not much. Just a little bit of, pizza. Figured be lazy today. Also got that barbecue chicken thing from, what's it called? Domino's? Why can I not remember its name? I always confuse all their names together. Like, every, like, generic pizza place. But yeah, it's Domino's. I'm not sure why I always forget, like, every single one. I think it's Domino's and Pizza Hut that I normally confuse with each other. Because they're basically the same exact place. Though I do feel like I order from Domino's more than Pizza Hut, so maybe they're not the same. Obviously they're not the same, but you know what I mean. Though I think I mostly just do that because it's closer. Like, the closest Pizza Hut to me is further away than... way further away than the closest Domino's. Made some tasty Reubens. Ooh, that sounds good. Ah, so we'll throw that down. Grab herself a nice little flame off. Get our Zoog off in there. See if we can get our other red. But yeah, let me go check the one thing real quick. Because I actually want to know. Because we might be doing that tonight if it's already out. I don't think it comes out till midnight though. Oh! A new update is available. Download. What is this? What is this? Ooh. It might be ready. Maybe they did already launch it today. Interesting. Yeah, we'll have to do a stream of that later tonight. I say tonight because, the people that have been working on the house have been back again lately. I'm not sure how much noise they're going to be making during the day tomorrow, so I do want to get it done tonight. If anyone has the game, we could end up lobbying up as well when we do Mario Kart a little bit later. We'll do a separate stream for it, though. I'm not going to continue it all for this stream. Because we'll probably grind, get like a chest or two, and then see what we could do with the new update thing. This is actually the first time it's gotten content in like 5 years. They didn't add too much, though. They're doing it over the course of like a year, which is a little weird. Hey, we got an Anu there, nice. We'll have to pick a green character for St. Patrick's Day. I'll have to deck our cart out with like all the green everything. Which is one thing that's going to be nice about trying to play Mario Kart right now. Because generally speaking, Mario Kart has, like, if you try going in multiplayer, it is literally just wall-to-wall everyone running the meta. As far as, like, the most optimal min-max kart you could possibly ever use. So it'll be nice to see people, like, actually using not the meta. It's kind of like Gems of War PvP. Like, literally, or not literally everyone, but a good number of people, or it's more like Gems of War, Guild Wars, I should say, where, like, literally everyone's running the most min-maxed everything. It makes it a little bit less fun compared to if people are just, like, messing around with random cart setups or random builds. Because that's one of the reasons I don't do PvP too often in Gems of War these days. Because especially Guild Wars. Well, Guild Wars you're kind of forced to have to do. But, PvP I try to avoid when we can. Just because it's so many overly meta teams. And you can't really build, like, really quirky teams against them a lot of times. Because they will get absolutely decimated. Did I get the mythic yet? No, we're still in the hunt. We did a poll the other day that had like 100-something votes, like low 100-something. And it came up to 4% of people in our chat had it. I think in total I've heard 6 people from our chat mention they've gotten it at some point. Between the poll and people just mentioning it. Though they could have been overlap with the same people voting on the poll as well as mentioning it in chat. But, yeah, this thing's still very elusive. But the hunt continues. For Mario Kart, they haven't made rules or types of modes that restrict or force a type of kart. No. There's a surprisingly high amount of content that should be in Mario Kart that isn't, and that's one of them. I think you might be able to for private lobbies, but when you're doing like public stuff, it's literally no restriction whatsoever. Oddly enough, I believe the mobile game somewhat does that. Not that it restricts it, but it makes it so like there's different tracks that you get bonuses for if you use certain pieces, which makes it so you change up your setup. Whereas in the mainline, or at least in the current mainline Mario Kart, there's no incentive to really ever change your setup, unless you're going for like world record speed on a map. But if you're just playing in multiplayer, you tend to just use one build literally the entire time. Especially because the map that you're going into is completely random, so you can't even like build into what map you're going to be doing. Because the way that matches get chosen in multiplayer is every single person in the lobby, which is normally about 12 people, or slightly less, but normally 12 people, will randomly, or will all pick between 4 different options. 3 different maps or random. And the problem with this is if like half the lobby's choosing random, of which you don't even know ahead of time when you pick your kart, you're going to be... You don't know what you're on. Like, you don't know what map you're going to get. So you kind of just have to use a, like, really overly generic min-maxed build that just works for everything. Which is kind of like Zugoff right now. Because we could bring this into, like, any kingdom and probably be fine. Compared to when we do different modes where we actually have to focus on a specific build. Like Green Tower of Doom next week. Let's see. But yeah, but the Mario Kart mainline doesn't have anything like that. Like in Gems of War or Green Tower of Doom next week, not only do you have to fight things that will be different, so you have to change up your build, but also you're restricted to only green, other than weapon, which could be anything. But yeah, Mario Kart series doesn't actually have anything like that. I think the mobile game does, but in like the mainline series, there's nothing of that, of such a mechanic. I'm just loading up right now just to see if we can do it. I actually loaded up pretty quickly. I think they added 8 maps. It's somewhat pricey for what they are doing, though maybe not. I believe they're adding like... They're almost doubling the amount of maps in the game, but it costs like 25 bucks. But they're not doing it all at once. I think they only added 8 so far. Let me see, is there a way to check? Just want to check real quick. Let me go into single player. How would you even do these new maps now that I'm thinking about it? Let's see. Oh! They did add more. Wait, how many more did they add? Wait, what? Interesting. I just want to check this real quick. I just want to see how we access it for later. Oh? Okay, those aren't added yet. Okay, I see. They're currently grayed out. I see, I see. But yeah, how many maps is that? Wait, they literally doubled the amount of maps in the game. That's not too bad a deal. They literally doubled. And they added 8 of them today. Well, we'll have to mess with that later. Cool. Anyways. Yeah, we'll do that later tonight. We'll do that in like an hour or 2 from now. Probably an hour and a half. We'll probably do Gems of War for 2 hours and then do that for like an hour, 2 hours, however long we go. I don't feel like Mario Kart's one of those games you could like play for like multiple hours. It's kind of like Gems of War in that regard. I don't feel like I could ever sit down and play it for like 5 hours straight. Like maybe ever so occasionally. But it's like one of those games that you do for like an hour or 2. Normally. So hello Supernova, welcome. Did you hear about the Sting having their own handheld called the Steam Deck? Oh, there's another. Yeah, there's a lot of companies that make a Steam Deck like equivalent. Valve's just like the biggest name brand that has kind of done it. But I'm still looking into that whole system of like eventually getting like a handheld PC. I was originally going to get Steam's one, and I'm still kind of interested in it. But I'm holding off for now, just because the technology is actually kind of new. And I do kind of want to see where it goes in the next like year or two. But I do feel like I will be picking one up at some point. Valve's one definitely seems the most interesting to me though. Mostly because of all the integration it already has. It's also very moddable if we ever want to mess around with that. Like, exceedingly moddable. My biggest issue with the Steam Deck is I'm not sure how the form factor is. Like, if I would want to have that exact form factor. Because it tries doing a lot at once. And it has, like, a really overwhelming form factor. Like, once you get used to it, I feel like it'd be fine. But the Steam Deck just has so much going on with its layout. Which is both a good thing and a bad thing. Like, you definitely don't have a lack of features with it. But there is an argument to be made it has too many features. Like, it is absolutely insane how many buttons it has. I'm surprised it doesn't have, like, a fully functional keyboard on it. It has so many buttons. Like, it's probably the most buttons I've ever seen on something that doesn't have a keyboard. Because I'm pretty sure it has, I want to say, like 30. If you count literally every input method. I didn't actually count it, but I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around 24 different input methods. Between every button, every behind the button, every single one of the pads that it has. Does it have touchscreen? I actually can't remember. Oh yeah, that's a pretty big thing too. Does it actually have touchscreen? That's a pretty big thing for it not to have. But now that I think about it, it probably doesn't, because most Steam games don't have touchscreen support, I'm pretty sure. Because I don't think you could play, like, Gems of War with touchscreen on a PC. Can you? I'm actually not sure. Can you? Can you? Someone might know that. I've actually never tried. I know you can on Switch. I know obviously you can on mobile. Is it actually possible to play with touchscreen on PC? On Gems of War? Does anyone know? I'm pretty sure someone has, if it is possible here. Has anyone actually tried doing that? Like, does anyone have, like, a touchscreen, like, tablet that runs on Windows or something? Or even just a touchscreen PC in general? Oh, you can? Interesting. Oh. I did not know that. Well, I kind of assumed, but, you know, I never actually tried. Because I don't have any Windows touchscreen device. I only have a Switch and a phone. Those are the only touchscreens I have. Yeah, this game definitely feels like, I don't know, there's some advantages to mouse compared to touchscreen for Gems of War. It depends how you want to play the game. Like, both of them can be really efficient. It also depends on what your screen size is. Because if you have, like, a very large screen, it might actually just be more efficient just to run mouse. Mostly because of how much you have to move your hands, compared to just having a high DPI mouse. But I'm still really curious to see what the Steam Deck does overall. Especially what, like, future iterations they might end up making. Because, you know, they're basically going to have, like, a line of these now. Like every other console in existence. However, unlike other consoles, there will be little incentive to change once you have one. Which is one of the reasons why I'm kind of waiting a little bit now. Because let's say they do a Steam Deck 2, or whatever on earth they're going to call it. The Steam Deck Plus. In like, they'll find some kind of creative name. But let's say they do like a Steam Deck Plus in 2 years from now. Like, everyone who already has a Steam Deck, there's little incentive for them to upgrade. Just because of how the Steam Deck is. It's not like a normal console, where it's like, oh, there's a bunch of exclusives and other stuff. It's just, you know, it's just different hardware. Similar to how, like, you wouldn't upgrade your computer, like, literally... Well, there are some people that do that, but it's not like you would upgrade your computer every year. Most people don't do that anyways. There are some people that do. But, realistically, the average person, like, doesn't upgrade their computer to, like, the best new graphics card, the best new everything, every single year. They might, like, every few years, or, like, every decade. I do it every decade, generally. But, you know, the average person doesn't, like, do that often. Which is basically what new iterations of the Steam Deck would be. Because, like, a Steam Deck Plus would be a very little difference overall compared to if you already owned a normal Steam Deck. But if you didn't own any yet, and then they had a Steam Deck Plus, then it would make sense to, you know, go for the Steam Deck Plus. It's kind of like how Switch OLED is right now for Switch. Like, I don't feel like it is worth getting a Switch OLED if you already have a normal Switch. But if you don't have a Switch, like, it's a kind of a no-brainer to go for the Switch OLED. Assuming you don't mind the extra $50. Like, it's one of those kind of situations with the Steam Deck. Which is one of the main reasons I feel like I'm going to hold out. Because you know in like 2 years from now, they're going to market like crazy the brand new Steam Deck. Made by Valve. New and improved. Like we listened to all your feedback and we made it better. Let's see, we'll take it over. I'll take another destroy. Touch is better in your opinion? I don't know, I'm kind of biased because I've played like 99.9% of my playtime in Gems of War with mouse. I have played it with touchscreen before on the Switch and on phone. And in both situations, I preferred not to. It wasn't like a bad experience, but I generally don't play with anything on touchscreens. So I'm just used to using mouse or controller. So this feels kind of odd to me when I'm like touching a screen. I know that's not the case for everyone, obviously. But I find it really awkward doing anything while touching a screen compared to other input methods. I feel like the only experience I actually like using a touchscreen for is a really weird one, but it's when you're ordering food. I'm not sure why, but I actually like touchscreen for something like that. Mostly because the visual factor of it feels a lot more responsive. Because generally when you're doing it, you're looking at like menu item things that you're clicking on. And having a touchscreen for that just feels a bit more intuitive. Because you're like literally pointing at the thing you want. Like, I even do that when I have, like, a standard word-based menu. Or, like, you know, one that they would just hand you. Not like a tablet or anything, but, you know, like a literal, like, paper menu. You know, like menus normally aren't. Like the standard menus. Like those kind of things. Like in a restaurant, I will still, like, point at the thing on the menu. On the, like, physical paper menu. Of, like, what I want as I'm, like, explaining it. So I kind of like that for, like, ordering food. When it's, like, a touchscreen automated thing. Because I feel like I naturally do it even when it's not a touchscreen. It's like one of the few situations I like a touchscreen. It's a really weird one. And that's like the only time I can think of where it's like, oh yeah, touchscreen's probably better than like any other input method here. The only problem is like everyone's touching it. So there's like a whole like germ and disease spreading issue with it overall. So you have to make sure that the place is cleaning it constantly. I'm pretty sure most places do that pretty well. I would sure hope. We're gonna have like 500 updates before they get to the next version of next gen, true. I wonder when next gen consoles actually are coming out. Because the Switch probably has like at least a few years left in it. So it'll be interesting to see. Because obviously PlayStation's just gonna do PlayStation 6, like that's obvious. Unless they're gonna throw a curveball, they're just gonna keep going up numerically. And have some kind of gimmick. Though isn't it still hard to even get a PS5 right now? Like, is there anyone who's even still looking for a PS5? Like, are they still that hard to get? Because I know they were having shortages for the longest of time. But I assume by now that would have been sorted. It's been, what, 2 years? A year? I don't know. I've lost track of all amounts of time. I almost forgot how late it already was today, too. Like, I was looking at the clock, like, right before the stream. And I was like, oh, I probably still have like an hour or two before we have to stream. Though it's probably because of the hour shift that's making me feel like that way. And then I looked at the time and it was like, oh, it's like 7:45. And I haven't ate since lunch. Oh, our first 2 times Mimic. You know what that means? Code time. Let's go do it. I don't have code section open. Give me a second. Whoops. I restarted the computer earlier to make sure it wasn't laggy. Oh, no. I'm out of codes. Or not out of codes. I have 4 more left. No worries. We'll have enough for the rest of this weekend, probably. Because we have today, which is Thursday, tomorrow, which is Friday, Saturday. Yeah, I have enough for the rest of the weekend if I give out 1 code per stream. But I need to go contact Kafka. Kafka. I am so low on codes. I have enough till Sunday. Or technically Monday. Well, it depends how you look at it. I have enough for Sunday night. I run out on Monday night. As in, we will not have any then. So I need to go ask her, like, soon. Because she normally, even if I ask her like immediately, she normally doesn't get around to it. Well, assuming she even does it immediately. She normally doesn't do it till like Sunday or Monday. So I need to go contact her. I did not realize we were so low. I like scrolled down on my code section. It's like, oh, I assumed it's because of how it was like filled out. It's like, oh, there's plenty of codes here. Then I scroll down. It's like, oops, I have 3 more left after this one. Okay, we'll need to go ask for more. I guess we handed out too many for the mimics. Let's see. I should probably go contact her, like, literally right now before I forget. I'll contact her later, though. I'll remember. Even if I contact her literally right now, she's probably not getting around to it till Sunday, so... But anyways, there you guys go. There's a redeem code used on gemsandwar.com for the game code section. Your invite code can be found in your settings menu. Whatever your game says, in the bottom left of settings, will you put in for your invite code. Redeem code is right over there, starting with men. I'm not sure why it's starting with men, but it starts with MEN. And it gives the same word as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Enjoy, everyone. Okay, now let's go get this super mimic. Let me go update our number as well. Oh, wait. Don't update it yet. It could be a 5 times. What if it's a 5 times? Like, it's probably not a 5 times, but what if it is? What if it's a 5 times with the mythic in it? Is our grind finally over? Highly doubt it. It's just gonna be a useless 2 times. Yep. Well, we got 2 rainy out of it. Boo. Well, we got one. Alright, we're at 21-1. 22 total chests. 21 2 times, 1 singular 5 times. Oh, let's keep going. The hunt continues forever. I do feel like this hunt will like almost never end. We will eventually get it, obviously. However, how long that will go on for, I have no clue. I do hope we finish it this week. I really, really hope between the next few days we can get it done by the end of this weekend. And we'll have a code every stream leading up to it. And apparently 1 singular code because I actually have no spares. We'll still keep doing it like we have been, handing out on the first 2 times we get every stream. I want to get at least 1 more 2 times tonight if we can, though. which is ideally a 5 times, which ideally has the mythic in it. I'll see how it goes. Go ahead and contact Kafka. We can all wait. No, I'll remember. I'll do it between the 2 streams while I'm setting up the Mario Kart stream. I'll probably just grab a random thumbnail from something. I normally keep them pretty basic. I probably should make them more elaborate. I'm mostly just doing it for fun, though. Like, normally when I do streams like that, I have, like, no intention to make much profit, like, at all. Especially because one issue with a lot of Nintendo games, too, is there's quite a bit of copywritten music in quite a few of them. I won't get, like, copyright stricken, but, like, I'll get demonetized on quite a few Nintendo-related things. So whenever I do, like, anything Nintendo, I almost go into it, like, assuming, like, oh yeah, this is gonna get demonetized. Doesn't happen too much these days, but it happens enough that I just assume anything that's, like, a Nintendo IP that has, like, a lot of music in it is probably going to get demonetized. And it probably will because there's Coconut Mall, which is one of the better sound tracks in any Mario Kart game ever. I think it's a remixed version of it, actually. Which I'm actually curious what it sounds like because I haven't heard it yet. It's one of the most iconic Mario Kart stages, and it's actually just got added today. I'm actually surprised the game didn't already have it. It was one of the best, if not the best, Wii stage in the entire game. And the Wii was arguably the best Mario Kart ever made. And it was one of the best, or at least one of the better stages in it. It wasn't my personal favorite, but I know it's, like, overall generally considered one of the better ones. It was still a really good stage, though. I think it was the music that really did it, though. Just keep it quiet, it'll be fine. Yeah, I could just turn down the sound. But no, I actually haven't been demonetized for anything Nintendo related for a little while. I think the last time we got demonetized was for Age of Calamity. There was some soundtrack in Age of Calamity that got demonetized. I'm not sure which one. But like the most recent time we did Age of Calamity back in October, I think like literally every stream we did for it, all one of them, got demonetized. Because did we ever do more for it? I think we just did the one stream and then I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. They could have done so much more with Age of Calamity. They were really lazy with that one. It was made by a different company though. Like it was licensed by Nintendo, but it wouldn't really say it was like a primary Nintendo company. It's almost like the same situation of something like Pokemon Unite. Like, that's like a company that does like a lot of different things, not just for Nintendo. And I'm pretty sure that was the case for Age of Calamity. Like, it wasn't really like a Nintendo-owned company. It was just like a company that they had do the game. Let's see. What do we even take here? We do not have a good option here. So close. 3 more mana, please. So close, yet so far. Oh yeah, the little turtle launcher. That is such a fun troop. I wish it was viable. There's a troop in this game that's basically Forest Troll. That little turtle. And it is so adorable. I wish it was actually viable. Because in most situations, it's better just to Titan into Forest Troll. Which makes it almost completely irrelevant. Because Titan Forest Troll is just superior to it in almost every situation. But I know exactly what trip you're talking about. Yeah, I wish it was viable. What's his exact ability again? Doesn't it like do a explode and then just does green based on how many like of the destroy or something? Is it literally just called Turtle something? Turtle. I will eventually hit the E. Yeah, there it is. Turtle Cannon. Exploded gem, crate 4. Yeah, that's exactly what it does. It explodes the gems, then creates a bunch of green boosted by skulls destroyed. It's basically a weaker version of Forest Troll that counts as a beast construct. There might eventually be a construct team that could kind of use it, because Lord of Slaughter synergy. However, there's no 50% mana start for constructs, and it doesn't really work too well in a beast team, because there's normally better options for 50% mana start beast teams. Also, 50% mana start beast teams are also pretty underwhelming for the most part, mostly because the beast hero class is also pretty underwhelming. But I wish that troop was a bit more viable. But more often than not, you just go Forest Troll. It's more consistent as Titan synergy, which is a much better hero class than the hero class you would synergize with Turtle. Oh, I could have taken Skull. Whoops, I could have already won. Not too big a deal, though. I got Arania there. Gems of War forums post poll so far for Horde Mimic Troop 82 votes. Wait, how long was the poll posted for? We did a poll earlier that already has more votes than that. Because we had like 100 something that one stream. It must have been posted pretty recently. Or do not that many people use the forum these days? I assume a lot of people still do. Because I recall some forum posts getting like hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of votes. Like almost, there were some that almost reached 1,000 at one point in the game. I know I've been using the forum a bit less though. Like I generally don't check all the side topics. I check like official news there. But like every side topic that happens these days, I generally don't really check. Whereas I used to like literally read every single post that was ever on the forum there. Oh, it was posted less than a day ago. That's still pretty low for the forum, though. That or maybe people on our stream just really like to vote for stuff. Let's see. I'm going to make a poll. Do you like to vote on polls? I will poll it right now. Do you like to vote on polls? Yes or no? Vote now. Oh, yeah, I want to cancel out that one. There we go. Asking the true questions. That's a rather ironic poll to say no to. Because you would actively have to vote on a poll to say that you don't like to vote on polls. There'll be at least like 20-something% that will, though. But there we go, asking the hard questions there. There's gonna be some amount of people that will say no. Obviously. Oh, it's almost 50-50? Interesting. Apparently a lot of people don't want to vote on polls. That or people are just memeing. Because that's a very unserious question. Not like most of our polls even are serious questions. It's mostly just to get, just kind of see what your guys' feedback is on stuff. More often than not. The fact that it's 50-50 is really funny. Let's see. We'll take that over. The only problem is I'm not sure if people are just trolling by saying no, or if they're actually like legitimately like don't actually like voting on polls. That's the only problem with this poll now. Let's see. We'll throw that down. Let's see. We'll throw that down. Oh, you were talking about the Mario Kart thing. Oh, my bad. I thought you were talking about the Gems of War thing. My bad. I didn't realize the context of what you were saying. But yeah, we'll be messing with Mario Kart in about an hour. Find at least one more chest in Gems of War. And then check out the new Mario Kart stuff. Because it's been 5 years since they've done anything not counting the mobile game. And I do not count the mobile game. Which is kind of weird, because even though I don't play the mobile game of Mario Kart, if they brought out like half that feature to the mainline game, I actually would like it. Because one big issue that Mario Kart has always lacked, well, there's a lot of issues, despite how big the IP is, which is kind of insane. But one of the bigger issues for me is a lack of progression system. And even though the mobile version did that in like one of the worst free-to-play ways possible, as most free-to-play games do these days, it did have a progression system. Like, that's one really big thing that it fixed from the mainline games. Because there's nothing to, like, grind for in most Mario Kart games. And even if there is, it generally does not affect how well you can perform. Which kind of makes sense because it's more like a party game, so they kind of have to keep the field a little bit more even. But, I don't know, there's always been, like, that lack of grind. Like, that lack of incentive to try to reach certain objectives. Because there's, like, no payout in the end. It's like, you could do it for the fun of it, but then beyond that, it's like, okay, well, there you go, congrats, you did it. But you don't get anything in return, more often than not. That was one thing that the mobile version kind of fixed. In, like, the traditional free-to-play way. But it did technically fix it, if nothing else. And having some way like that, but not like nickel and dime, like literally everything, would be pretty cool in the mainline Mario Kart series. If they ever did that for Mario Kart 9. Like, I don't want them to bring over, like, battle passes and stuff like that. That'd be kind of annoying. But they need some kind of progression system that actually rewards playing the game more. Because I believe you can unlock everything in the most recent Mario Kart in, like, 20 hours. And beyond that point, you were like, okay, well, what now? Like, you still keep playing for the fun of it, obviously. But from a progression standpoint, it has very little. Let's see. We'll throw that down. Like, Fire Emblem Heroes. Oh yeah, I have heard of that game. I feel like that one would also be too pay to win for me. Because it's a really in-depth strategy game that you can literally just bypass with money. Which I'm not a huge fan of. Actually, there was an indie game that did that a little while back too. I don't think I've ever streamed it yet on the channel, but I was playing it some during the holidays. Because it was a pretty chill thing to do. But there was like a, I did Words Can Kill, which was that one indie game. That's not the one I'm referring to. That's going to be like a one-time buy kind of thing. We're still going to be covering that too when it comes out. But that's not the one I was referring to. But there's this other one called, like, Scrabble Royale, I think it was called. And it was, like, free-to-play. You know, it's like a Battle Royale Scrabble. But they ended up, like, pay-gating what starting letter you could have. Which basically meant everyone who paid up had, like, a strategic advantage over literally everyone else in the lobby. And, like, stuff like that I don't really like in strategy games. Which would really hurt it for me, like, playing a mobile Fire Emblem game. Because it's a really heavy strategy-based game. And you can literally just bypass it with money. I'm pretty sure not completely, obviously. But, definitely to some degree. Which I'm not a fan of. That's one nice thing I actually do like about Gems of War 2. While there are a lot of stats that you can end up gaining, most of the effectiveness of troops are pretty easy to max. The only big issue with Gems of War, I would say, is like obtaining all mythics. Because that can kind of paywall some things. Though there are plenty of teams that are exceedingly viable with no mythic. Many of which you don't even realize there's no mythic, like Verwain Quick Kill and stuff like that. And there are many teams that are even more effective running zero mythics. Because one interesting balancing thing that Gems of War has done pretty good with their mythics is every mythic has a really high mana cost, which makes them unviable to use in a lot of situations because of their high mana cost. I still find it amazing how many things, as a company, Infinity Plus 2 has done correctly with Gems of War, and then completely did incorrectly with Puzzle Quest 3. Like, you thought they would have learned all the right lessons, but they didn't. I'm not sure if that's like 505 Games influence or other obligations, But, like, you would have thought with, like, how decent Gems of War is, they would have done something better after. Or, you know, like, learned more from 7 years of Gems of War. Because there's still a lot of mechanics to this day that, in, like, in the free-to-play landscape, that Gems of War does really, really well. That you don't see in too many free-to-play games. Like, the fact that you can literally farm infinite of the premium currency is a... Oh, nice, we got a Mimic here. Is a huge plus. Like, I can't remember the last time I needed to buy gems. Like, the option is there if you wanted to. But, I don't think I bought in gems for, like, 4 or 5 years in this game. I want to say 5 years. Like, you just don't need to. Unless you just want more. But from, like, a necessity standpoint, I never feel at any point forced, ever, in, like, the last, like, 5 or 6 years to buy gems in Gems of War. Which is kind of funny because it's literally in the name. Oh! We did it! Tonight's the night. The St. Patrick's Day luck. You all were here. Today's the day we get it. Right now. Right here, right now. You know what? It will be a little bit unfortunate, but if we get the troop right here, we will hand out a code. If we right here, right now, end up getting this mythic, I will hand out another code, even though that means we won't have one for Sunday night. Moment of truth. Oh wait, I should probably change my team to something not horrible. Whoops. We could win with this if we truly had to. Though it is not advised. I'm just gonna use Night Spider or something. It's probably not the most optimal way, but we have infinite loop, might as well. Well, it's not true infinite, but it's good enough. There's no way we lose in this situation. But yeah, let's go cash in our St. Patrick's Day luck. If there's any day we're gonna get it, it's today. If we don't get it today, it'll be like multiple months. No, it's hopefully not. But today's the day. Gotta cash in St. Patrick's Day luck. I haven't used it all day for anything, so gotta use it right now. Do we have kill range? Yes, we do. That moment of truth is almost upon us. Is it disappointment or something actually good? Has anyone actually data mined yet what the actual rate for getting this thing is? I want to say it's 1 in 4. Maybe 1 in 5. Though I really have no clue. All I know is we found it twice, and hopefully this one's the one. Incoming 10 guard? Oh, that is painful. That would be so painful. Do I even want to look? I didn't look the first time. I'm going to look this time. Also, I didn't screenshot the other one. Alright, here we go. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. I don't think that... Does anyone know? Actually, I want confirmation on something if anyone happens to know. Does the Mimic show up when you open this chest on the screen? I believe the answer to that is no. I think you only see what tokens you get. I'm pretty sure the Mythic roll does not actually show on the screen. Does anyone know for sure? I know very few people probably know unless someone posted like the exact instance that it happened on the forum. But does anyone actually know if it shows the Mythic when we click this? Or if it shows it once we hit the medal screen? Because obviously it's going to show what medals we have. Also, I need to go to the bathroom real quick. I'm just going to leave this here looming. And then we'll go open it in a moment. 1 second. I actually do need to go to the bathroom for so much water. 1 second. Hey, sorry about that. We're back. Should I go get like every good luck charm I have? Let's see. That's such a tease, I know, right? It shows on the screenshots. Wait, it shows? Scene screen. Oh, it does show? Okay. Well, I'm not gonna look then. Tell me, what is it? I'm not looking. I'm not looking. Okay, I gotta look. Well, no! It is 10 guard! We got gypped. The pain. True pain. True pain. Well, whoever guessed 10 guard, you got it correct. Okay, well, that's something. Ouch. That is the embodiment of pain. That is exceedingly unfortunate. Oh, come on. Our first one was actually like half good. We got like 5 Anus, 5 Arania, 5 guard. Now we get 10 guard. Whoops. Well, 5 times to 5 times. Well, we half cashed in our luck, I guess. It only worked on the first half. It did very bad on the second half. All right, let me go clear out the dailies real quick. I still haven't actually done these. Oh, we got Imperial today. Let me go grab these real quick. Oh, that is so disappointing. You know it was eventually going to happen, though. You know it was eventually going to happen. Hey, verse 2. Our luck reversed. Wrong timing, though. Though we've been doing so good on verse 2 this week. I'm not sure why. I've been getting absolutely drowned in verse 2, which is good because it's the only verse I need. Well, man, not the only verse I need, but you know what I mean. Like, it's the one we have the highest number of. I mean, the lowest number of, I mean. I wish it was our highest number. Okay, it doesn't show you until the list. Okay, that's what I thought. I just wasn't 100% sure. So that could have actually still been the legend. Or the mythic, I mean. You said 10 guard is a joke? Well, don't joke about it. It can happen. You jinxed it. Though, statistically, it's actually kind of likely that I'll do 10 guard. Or like something similar, like a 5 guard, 5 Orpheus or something. Because obviously it's more likely to roll the 3 worst tokens in the game. Although it's just very painful. Because it's actually rarer to get 10 guard than it is to get 10 Orpheus. We somehow roll 10 guard. Well, at least we got a guard medal out of it, I guess. Better than nothing. That's like 100 gems worth, which is like nothing compared to how rare that thing is. Very unfortunate. But better luck next time. Next time we can get 5 guard and then 5 Yasmin. A small step up. A little bit of improvement. Yes, the troop does not take up a token slot. It is possible to get 4 drops. Because you would get 3 different tokens plus the troop. The troop drop does not consume one of your 5 drops. So it is possible to get 4 drops from one single 5 times chest. 1 mythic with 3 5 times. Which means the best chest you could ever get, which I'm pretty sure no one will ever get ever, is 15 Nisha and 1 mythic. The chance of that happening is near impossible. Like, literally winning lottery, I'm pretty sure, is better odds. But, theoretically, 15 Nisha and 1, mythic is the best 5 times chest you could ever get. Which would be absolutely insane if that ever happened. You can get some pretty similarly good ones, though. Like some Nisha, some Anu, some Arania with a mythic or something similar. Like, those are a lot more likely to happen. They're also pretty rare. Though we did okay on our first drop. We got 5 Anu, 5 Arania, 5 guard, and no mythic. Like, if there was a mythic there, that would have been like a pretty optimal chest. Anyways, well, let's keep grinding. The hunt continues. We got close, but close doesn't give us the mythic. So the hunt continues. I'm looking for my Explore 12 team. There it is. I keep forgetting I moved it because of the video we covered the other day. Yeah, I currently have the most of verse 4, which I still find funny because at the beginning, for like the first few weeks, verse 4 was the one I was missing the most of, and then it did a complete 180. And right now, with how good we've been doing on verse 2, it's starting to do a complete 180 on verse 2. It's still down by a lot. It's kind of weird because my verse 2 had as big as like a 40 or 50 gap at one point, when as low as like a 3 gap. And then it was at like a 25 gap earlier this week, and now it's at like a 17 gap or something. Like the gap between how much of a difference there is. Not Nomapalooza number. That might be a little bit confusing, because whenever I describe that, I always describe it as gap. But everyone in Gems of War uses gap as Nomapalooza. So that must be really confusing. But I meant gap as in the distance between them, not gap as in Nomapalooza. You've been using that team to switch up Explore 12? I can go look at it. Give it a peek. Let's see, where is it? Where is the team? Oh no, my pole's blocking it and I can't move it. No, move, pole, move. What if I close pole? There we go. Now I can see it. That shouldn't close it on the stream. That should only close it on my current viewer. Because the way it was currently up was obfuscating the screen quite a bit. Alright, what am I looking for? I'm looking for, looking at the team. Rope Dart. Oh, Ubistet build. That's fun. Yeah, Rope Dart Ubistet. Used to be meta. It still is. Like, you still use it, obviously. But yeah, that's a fun way to go. It plays very similar, oddly enough, to, what's it called, team? To, Scorpius. Except you can use it in almost every location as long as you don't have immune insta-kill. Which are just the places that have the dooms. But yeah, I used to run that some. I don't feel like I've run it much lately, but it's definitely still a good team. The Ubistet Rope Dart team. I haven't used Ubistet too much since it got nerfed multiple years ago. Though we have used it a few times here and there. I should probably mention it for team videos a bit more often. I just feel like a lot of people don't have a Spirit Ubistet laying around. I do feel like on the next tier list, I should move Ubistet up a bit. I think I put him in like B tier last time. I do feel like he's an A tier mythic, almost S tier. He used to be S tier back in the day. But he's probably a solid A tier these days. The biggest issue with him is he basically requires Rope Dart in the current state of the game. Like, you literally can't use him without Rope Dart. Like, there are teams that you theoretically could, but he's just so much weaker without Rope Dart. Because that's kind of his whole premise, is he Rope Darts into his ability, then Rope Dart into his ability. That's like the whole gimmick of using him, if you're going to use him. He'd be a good team to mention on a week where it's a Pride Lands event week where you can actually get a Rope Dart. Mentioning it otherwise seems a bit out of place. Just because if someone doesn't have Rope Dart, they pretty much can't run him properly. As it is near required to use them in the current state of the game. And the main reason for that is it does an armor tier poke onto whatever you're targeting. And Ubistet will kill the 2 weakest, I believe it is. Or it'll target the 2 weakest, and if it kills one, it kills both. So it basically just gets the double kill to double kill. Kind of like a Scorpius, but based on total remaining HP rather than if they're poisoned or not. It also targets the 2 weakest rather than 2 back slots. The only problem with that is if they have resummon. It really doesn't like any team that has any amount of resummon, similar to a Scorpius team. Because ideally your whole gimmick is you cast, you double kill into double kill and then you win. The big issue with that is if they revive at all, you don't have as good of a recovery because you have to cycle through a whole third time on your abilities to be able to recover from that. Which I think is one of its biggest drawbacks. It's the same drawback that Scorpius has. Because you're expecting to win in 2 casts every, or not 2 casts, but you know, like your finishing move. You're expecting to cast it twice, and when you have to cast it a 3rd time, it really slows down the rate of the battle. Or as a very lucky Zoogoth, if you cast it once, you already won. You do often have to cast it twice, but very rarely do you need a 3rd. The only time you really need that is if your hero dies. It's like the only situation where you need a 3rd Zoogoth normally. Because otherwise 1 to 2 is generally enough. Oh, so why on earth did he survive with 1 HP? I guess the 10% might have pushed it over. Lighted eye in one shot. I forgot. Oh, you know why? Duh. There's a bunch of 10% on like every undead. This whole kingdom is pretty much undead. I kind of forgot. That's kind of something that's going on this week, isn't there? Like literally this whole kingdom has 10%. A couple with 20. That would explain it. Please die. We need something. Yeah, Ubistet used to be so broken with Divines. He also used to have a 4-to-1 ratio at the time instead of 6-to-1. It was a 4-to-1. Which means he had like 50% more, or almost 50%. He had 50% more boost ratio than he had before. Which isn't necessarily the same as 50% more damage because, of course, there's still the base damage factor. But his boost ratio was 50% more effective before he got nerfed. And now it's 6-to-1 rather than 4-to-1. So now for every 6 attack, he gains 1 damage instead of every 4 attack being 1 damage. Now, why couldn't this have been our 5x chess? Look at that. An Anu, Arania, and Orpheus. That wouldn't have been bad. That's pretty much our first chess that we got on 5x a couple days ago. Archie, what day was our first time we got a 5x? I think it was Monday. Pretty sure it was Monday. But yeah, we got one for St. Patrick's Day. Unfortunately, it just wasn't lucky. It was literally the worst roll you could ever do on a 5x chess. It was the best chest in the game with the worst chest of the best chests. Lowest possible roll in the best chest in the game. Which is very painful. You know it was going to happen eventually, though. It's just kind of sad that it happened on our very second chest we ever opened. But at least we can say it has happened. At least we can say we've gotten the worst chest in the game now. Or the worst 5x chest. Because you literally can't get a worse 5x chest than that. There is no lower option. 10 guard is the lowest. Maybe that means we get the highest roll next time. Which is like a near impossible probability. Like, there's a good chance no one in the history of all of Gems of War will roll the highest possible roll. Which is, 15 Nisha, 1 Mythic. Like, this game could go for another decade, and it'll probably still be 0 people who have rolled 15 Nisha, 1 Mythic. There might be people who get close. Like, double Nisha Anu or something similar. But specifically, 15 Nisha, Mythic is so absurdly unlikely. It'd be kind of funny when it does happen, though. Because that's the equivalence of, like, upwards of, like, $100 to $200 worth of loot in the game. If you were to, like, spend money on it. The equivalence of it. Though I'm pretty sure the odds are literally worse than the actual lottery. Though it doesn't cost you any to play, if nothing else. Let's see. We'll take that over. What do they even price a Nisha token or Nisha medal at these days? I think there's some bundles where you can get it for 35. So theoretically it's worth 35 then. Though I feel like most of the bundles that they're in is like the $50 thingy. I could have sworn there was one for 35 though. Even at that price I'm not sure if it's worth it though. Like a Nisha medal is good, though I'm not sure it's worth that much. Like if a Nisha was $5 I'd be like, oh, I'd maybe get it. But for like 35, that's a little steep. Too bad you don't even get any progress on it on the, like, it was actually originally going to be in the guild tasks. Like, you were going to get 1 Nisha token per week on the guild tasks in the first structure. It was actually removed when they changed up the loot a little bit. Which is kind of unfortunate, because that means every 2.5 months, we would have gotten a free Nisha medal with how they originally had it scaled. Hey, we got an Anu there. But then they ended up changing it. And the biggest issue with how they changed it is it gives all lower rarity tokens now. Like, they increased a lot of the loot, but that was one thing that got, like, heavily nerfed when they did that tweak. Before they added elite tasks to the game. Not legendary tasks, those actually existed before them, oddly enough. But when elite tasks were added, it got reworked a couple times before it was actually, like, fully put into the game. And one of the worst reworks that it did is it completely removed any Anus and any Nishas from the tokens. I think you only get, like, 1 Arania now? Do you even get any Arania from guild tasks? I actually forget. I believe it's 1, right? 1 per week. That's not too big a deal because you get most of them just from World Event these days. But there's currently nothing where you just passively get Anus or Nishas currently in the game. That'd be kind of cool if they added something like that. Even if it's a really slow rate or required something really hard, like a super high faction renown or, you know, something. Some kind of new mechanic. Because there's currently no ways to passively get Anus or Nishas within the game at this moment in time. Like, unless you actively play Explore 12, you will never get more Anus or Nishas. I guess one exception to that is if you have a lot of gems, you can occasionally get an offer for an Anu, but I believe you need VIP for that. Because I believe it only appears on VIP 6. And even when it does, I don't get it. We've pulled it a couple times before, and every single time we've ever pulled it, people have mentioned that's not worth it. I feel like it's somewhat okay value, depending on how much of a pinch you're in for getting more. It also depends how many gems you have. Like, obviously, it's more worth it if you have, like, 50,000 gems compared to if you had, like, 10,000. Like, at 10,000, it would never be worth it. At, like, 50,000, you'd probably consider it from time to time. But aside from that, there's no way to, like, passively get them. And there's literally no ways to passively get Nishas. And the only one for Anu is not even, like, fully passive because it costs you gems. Plus, it requires you have spent enough to have VIP 6 for the extra little task thingy, which is, like, what, 200-something dollars? Let's see, I'll take that over. I feel like most of the offers on the extra VIP thing are normally not that worth it, though. This isn't one of them, though. Like, you can tell if it's a special one because it doesn't show 25% discount. Whenever it's doing a generic one, it shows 25% discount. Whenever it's one you can only get from VIP, it shows at full price. Oh, also, I've been buying up the little cup thingy. I need it for a White Helm upgrade. The reason for this is White Helm, I believe, went up a star when we got those new troops from the thing. And currently, I need to upgrade a pet. And right now, I don't have another pet. So we'll have enough cubs soon. Once we reach that point, I probably will upgrade it because I'm not trying to upgrade multiple things. And then that will give us a max White Helm bonus if White Helm ever becomes relevant again. White Helm used to be pretty good back in the day. I feel like it's a rather average kingdom these days. The only thing I feel like I ever use from White Helm in the current state of the game is Guard's Avatar. One thing that's also pretty funny, which I still find it like a testament to how much power creep has happened in the game, is Lady Mirana, with this exact ability, exact stats, completely unchanged. This exact troop, with this exact ability, these exact stats, these exact traits, so I don't even think traits existed at the time, was at one point the best troop in the entire game. With this ability and all the stat lines that it has. It was once the absolute craziest thing in the game, to such a degree that one of its nerfs was actually a life gain from 5 down to 4. Like, that is how like how small of a change back in the day it needed to be a little bit more balanced. But yeah, it was at one point with this exact ability the strongest troop in the game. That is how much power creep has happened. Because right now it's basically useless. Even if you see it in arena draft, unless you just really want to build a true damage team, you don't even normally take it. Which is kind of funny because that's almost like the stat lines where she used to be good. But even in the current context of arena, because boost ratios and everything, even in that context, there's normally other epics you would take instead of her. Like, if she was the only okay mythic you had, or epic you had in an arena draft, you would take her and try to build around true damage. Or use her to poke down anything with lower life. But with those exact stats, she was once the best troop in the game. And not for like a specific game mode, for like literally everything. But now she's useless and used for basically nothing. Barely even for arena, even if you see her. Like, she's not like an auto-take in arena. Like, you'd have to ponder, like, do I want to take her? Like, she's not a bad arena pick. But there's she's not in like the you see her and then auto-pick her onto your team category. She's more of a, yeah, if there's no better options, you'll roll with it. kind of option for Arena. What do we take? Arrow Thrower's Explosion. Please give me a skull. Thank you. I was gonna say, because it's quicker than casting Zook off if it gives it to us. Small chance it would have. Luckily it did. I said hello, John. Hello, TJTimebomb. Welcome, welcome. Hope all's been well. Oh, so you don't actually get Inoranias from guild tasks. Though you do get them from world events, so that kind of makes up for it. So there's still no ways to get Anus or Nishas then passively. I hope they add a feature for that eventually. I'm not sure what they would add it in. But it'd be a very appreciated feature. But there's definitely weeks we don't really do much farming, if at all, in Explore 12. And on weeks like those, we're not getting any Anu or Nisha progress. And it'd be nice if they had something passive in the game that would allow you to even get some. Like, it doesn't have to be a lot. But at least some amount of passive Anu and Nisha. Even if it was like 1 Nisha token a month, which ideally it'd be a bit quicker than that. But even if it was only that, that's still better than having 0 Nishas per month. Obviously, you can get lucky and farm like multiple in an hour, or 1 in an hour, or 1 in a few hours. But if you're not like actively farming, there's no way to get it up. Oh yeah, the game calendar could be an option too. Do they ever do tokens on that? I can't even remember. I normally don't pay too much attention to the calendar. They cycle like the same few, I believe. But it is different sometimes. Like there's several different ones that they cycle through. But yeah, that would be kind of cool if it had like a different option there. What do we even get this month? I know you get an orb always on the 28th day. The rest tends to change up from time to time. Like right now we're getting a bit of ingots and gem keys, it looks like, this month. Which overall seems like one of the weaker months. Because ingots are not that good. Like tomorrow we get 2 treasure maps, which is basically nothing. Some gold, a gem key, blah blah blah. And always the orb on the 20th day. So this is a pretty underwhelming week, or month, as far as what we get. There are some better ones that normally show up here. They just didn't happen to be this time around. Like if you're like a brand new player, I guess those are okay. But for most people, they're like literally junk, just getting more ingots. This month's pretty underwhelming for the loot then. But there are some months where it's way, way better. Anyways, yeah, I almost forget all that even exists sometimes. It's just something that auto gets claimed as soon as you log in every day. And that nice little splash screen that they end up making several patches ago. I wonder if they're going to redo that with a lot of the visual changes they're planning on making soon. I really hope the visual changes are good. Though, if it's anything like the chess menu change, honestly, I'm actually looking forward to it. Because this one looks like it'll be a lot less controversial than the first one. Because the first one ruined the style of the game quite a bit. But it looks like all the changes that they're going to be making, if they're in the same kind of style of what they did to the chess menu, are all going to be improvements. Though in all fairness, they made the AI, or the user interface, I mean, they made the user interface the UI, way worse during that one patch. So now almost anything they do will be an improvement. So they've set the bar so low for such a long duration of time that I feel like this next visual patch that they do, whenever they do the full thing, should actually look pretty clean. Like, I could see that looking very, very nice. Because almost everything's going to be a step up from what it currently is. From when they took, like, a giant step back from it multiple years ago. Which is probably the most controversial update they ever made. Because the game used to look drastically different compared to how it does right now. Like, drastically different. It was a lot more stylized. But also had a lot of bulky graphics and stuff like that, so they went for, like, a lot more of a simple approach. But in doing so, they got rid of, like, almost every stylized menu in the entire game. It made it look all really basic and generic. But it seems like they're going to be improving that soon. At least according to the most recent patch. Though soon with them, that could be like literally the end of this year. Soon does not mean soon. It was quite unresponsive. Yeah, it was. There was some bad things about the previous UI, but there's also a lot of good things. I do feel like the good outweighed the bad. Although I didn't really mind the visual changes at the time though. There were people who like literally quit the game over it, but oh, I didn't mind it as much. And obviously these days no one really minds it because it's been such a part of the game for so long that, you know, it's just the game now. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't even know what it looks like prior. I bring up a screenshot of it, but I actually don't have it on this new computer. It's actually that old ago. It is that old ago. I actually do not have a file of it on my computer right now. But it looked so much different. Actually, I could probably bring up an old video that we did like ages ago and just mute it. And just kind of show it real quick. Like, let me try finding a video from, I don't know, I'll see if I can find one real quick. Let's see. Just to kind of show, like, how old it looked, or how different it looked compared to now. Let's see, let's find our channel. I'm pretty sure just typing in Tacit will literally be the first thing. Yep, there it is. Oh, I forgot to update the thumbnail. Oh, no. Oh, no. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I can't leave a like either because we're not logged in. Oh, there's my poll. Interesting. You actually see that immediately, even if you're not logged in. Wait, can you vote if you're not logged in? No, you can't. That's what I thought. Okay. No, you cannot. Anyways, what am I looking for? Oh, gosh, it's so white. I'm not used to it being white because I use dark mode. Let me see. Let me go find the old interface. Videos. What do I do by oldest? What even is the oldest video that shows up? Ah, the key opening thing. I remember that. Gosh, how did the gem key one get so much more than the iron key? Well, I guess because everyone had iron keys at the time. I forgot I even have some of these videos up. Let's see. Let's go find a, I don't know. Let's go do, here's a new player, thing that we did ages ago. Look at this interface.
Hello, everyone.
Oh gosh, my bad mic. But yeah, look at this. This was a new player account we ended up doing. We did this actually quite a few times. I haven't really done one in recent times. I kind of stopped doing it after a while. But we've made like 5 new accounts. And this was one of them. This was like a brand new account. Obviously, we were way more progressed on our main account. But look at all this user interface here. Like how much different everything is compared to what it was. Go to a different menu. Let's see. And that's what the tribute icon looked like. This is what the main menu thing looked like. Let's see, what other things do we have? This is what like the troop screen thing looked like. This is what the battle screen looked like. Oh, these are what stats look like. Remember when stats were that low? This is a brand new account still, though. Also, he didn't have Explode back then. Also, this is where the first 3 things you got. You also didn't get, you got Crude Club instead of what that new sword that you get these days. Because the tutorial thing is a lot different than what it was. Alright, we're trying to kill a Shegra right now. Which is actually somewhat hard to do back in the day. However, these days there's so many boost ratio troops that I'm pretty sure most people don't struggle with it. Although it used to be a kind of hard fight in the old meta of the game. Like, there were people who would literally get stuck at Shegra. Yeah, that's what it used to look like. Anyways. Yeah, that's what the old graphics used to look like for the game. You might have also noticed that the map screen and stuff like that also were different. Oh yeah, the slow speed as well, yeah. You also had to play at the old 1x speed, which is approximately what 1.25 or 1.5 times speed is in the game right now. That was still pretty slow compared to like 4 times. Even compared to 2 times, it was pretty slow. There's actually no speed that is the exact speed that the game used to play at, though. Like, you'd have to have a 1.33 speed, I believe, to have the exact same speed that it used to be. Because 1x in Gems of War right now is actually slightly slower than what 1x was back in the day, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe I just didn't realize how slow it was back in the day. But I'm pretty sure 1x speed is ever so slightly slower than what 1x speed was prior to speeds existing. That, or it really was that slow. Puzzle Quest 3 went back to that style, true. They are still rehashing out that style, though. Like, they're still redoing a lot of the graphics and everything for the game. Hey, gosh, we're doing so good on Verse 2. Please keep doing that. Like, keep doing that all week and forever. We'll never need another Verse 2 again. Like, I'm pretty sure the gap is, like, only 12 now. The gap between Verse 2 and my second lowest. Like, we checked it earlier this week and it was, like, 20-something, the gap. And now it's at, like, let me double check. Now it is at... Okay, it's still 21. But still, it's closing. It is indeed closing. But yeah, it's a 21 right now. The difference between Verse 2 and Verse... or second lowest, which is Verse 3. There's a 21 difference. It was like a high 20 earlier, and now it's a low 20. It's getting there. Slowly. As quickly as they can possibly come. Because obviously those don't drop too frequently. The dark days of Gems of War. Yeah, honestly, I feel like Gems of War wasn't a fully complete game until like 2 years after it launched. And that video that I was showing was like a few months, I want to say, or several months? No, it would have been... You know what? That was actually a year and a half. Because I forgot, I didn't make videos immediately. So that was almost at the point where I would consider the game to be a full game. It was like slightly before the point. But close to the point. Oddly enough, around the time Guild Wars came out, I feel like the game was near complete. Not because of Guild Wars, but because of like everything else as well that was happening around the time. Because most of what they've done in the last few years is mostly just expand on what already is within the game. Which is nice because it gives us more content to do. And more builds to mess around with and all that. Seriously, look at how high she keeps rolling. Or how often. Honestly, our best loot this week might just be the number of Verse 2s that we've gotten. That and all the tokens along the way. Because we've gotten a lot of tokens this week. Obviously, slightly in part because of the mimics, but also because I'm trying to hunt this troop, and in doing so, all we keep doing is getting tokens galore. You actually picked Marvel Puzzle Quest over Gems of War back in the day? Yeah. The speed of Gems of War prior to any speed option was pretty slow. It was still, oddly enough, quicker than Puzzle Quest 1. It's honestly one of the reasons why I actually never finished through the HD remake of Puzzle Quest 1. And the main reason for that is it is so slow. Like, back in the day that you could have gotten away with that. But the fact that even the HD remake did not have a speed option was horrifically bad. Because it literally feels like you're playing in ultra slow motion. Like, not even slow motion. Like, it's like there was an option in the menus. Like how Gems of War has multiple speeds. It's... Oh, yeah, you can't actually set this slow motion there, can you? But it has multiple, like, slow motions. But it's not like you were playing a 0.5. It was like a 0.25. Like the kind of speed that it felt like. Because Gems of War actually does have a double slow motion. Actually, theoretically, it has 5 slow motion options. It has 2 times, 1.5 times, 1.25, 1 times, 0.5, and 0.25. Because realistically, 4 times, 3 times, and maybe if you want like a realistic slow motion, 2 times, or like the only ones you'd ever use. Everything below 2 times is just way too slow. All 5 of them. They're just basically different degrees of slow motion. Technically anything that isn't 4 times is different degrees of slow motion. But I could see some people wanting to play on 2 times. If they don't want everything moving as quick. Especially if you're older and your eyes aren't as well. These 4 times does move kind of quick. Like, you get used to it, obviously. But, like, I wouldn't advise a new player to play on 4 times. Like, you'd probably want to start the game on 2 times speed. Like, immediately go to your settings, set it to 2 times speed, and then work your way into doing 3 times and 4 times. So you'd probably just skip straight to 4 times after you get used to 2 times, though. Because you kind of need to understand, like, what's happening a little bit more. Like, obviously we know exactly what's going to happen every single time we click anything. You kind of have to take the information in more as when you're first starting. So you keep it a little bit slower. I know when 4 times initially came out, there was actually a decent number of people that actually hated it. Because it seemed like it was moving too quick. I wonder if that's still the case. I'm pretty sure they would not be watching us by this point. If they were in that camp. Because I know some people do not like the speed of 4 times. Because it makes the board look like it's moving too quick. You definitely get used to it over time, though. And realistically, with how the game's scaling is for farming and everything, you kind of have to, at some point, eventually play at 4 times speed. Because you're literally at a resource disadvantage. Because when speed options first came out, they did not nerf the economy around 4 times speed. But several months later, they nerfed the entire economy, basically assuming like a player is playing at 4 times speed. So you're basically at a disadvantage not playing at 4 times speed. From a resource perspective. Because they ended up doing a patch that completely bounced the whole economy off of the assumption that a player is on 4 times speed. Because initially they didn't, but then they did. We need hyperspeed. I honestly would love to see like an instant option. Like none of those animations playing on the side so you don't have that weird pop-up image. Because it moves so quickly that it's kind of annoying sometimes. Like that little image that comes up. Like I understand the reason why it's there to kind of make it seem more epic that the cast is going off and just be like a visual indicator beyond what's going on the board. But I wish there was a way to disable that while having gems just pop in instantly. Like no like them moving down, like literally just teleport into position. Because that'd be a really fun speed. I don't think it would necessarily be called 8 times. It would more so just be called, like, be under 4 times, it'd be called instant. And what it would do is just make it so gems and every single ability just activate automatically. Very quickly. Like, literally, gems will just teleport into place. Damage would probably go a little bit slower. But probably around the speed of 4 times, I would say. But everything else would be instant, and it wouldn't show those little pop-up animations when a troop casts. I'm not sure if they're ever going to do that, but it'd be nice if they ever did. And from a resource perspective, they probably wouldn't have to nerf the economy even if they did. Because even though that would be quicker, it would not be that much quicker. Because you still have to process like what on earth just happened every single time. Which for some teams wouldn't matter too much. Like Dust Devil teams and such. At this point, 4 times speed is too slow for you. Yeah, I could easily play on a quicker speed if it existed. I'm pretty sure most people that play regularly on 4 times speed are perfectly fine if they, like, you know, if they added a quicker option, like, there'd be almost no learning curve. Like, you'd pretty much just be good to go to play it immediately. I feel like they never will add a quicker speed, though, as much as I want them to. Though, if anything, that's almost a good thing. Because realistically, if a new player, like, comes into our stream Anything higher than 4 times will be way too hard to understand what on earth is going on. I feel like the game's already somewhat complex in a lot of areas that are hard to kind of understand initially. But it'd be even more so if they saw like 8 times speed or equivalents of such. I still wish you could at least remove the animation though. Like this pop-in that comes up every single time you cast. I wish there was at least a toggle to remove that. And if that happened to speed up the game slightly, that'd be even better. But even if it didn't speed up the game at all, I'd still love for them to remove that, or at least a toggle option to do so. Like, I don't mind it being there, it just gets kind of annoying after a while. It also blocks the screen for a very short duration, so if you're planning on, like, your move, a specific move, it's blocking your screen for, like, half a second. Also, Wish Gem seems to be doing that even more so, it literally blocks the board. But, I don't know, it'd be nice to remove that. It doesn't block that much because it's only, like, doing the few rows over to the left, but if you're skimming the board really quickly, it blocks the screen for a long enough time that you could easily miss a move. Especially if it's a bulkier troop that takes up more room. Because some of them, they take up almost like a whole square of space. I mean, you won't be able to see anything over top of where it's casting. Or, you know, the silhouette of it. Like, something like Hero doesn't take up as much space. But then, like, something like Zugoff, it's, like, all the way over here. Throw's head's, like, blocking that whole area. Wish Gems literally block the entire board. Like, Wish Gem's doing the exact inverse of what it should be doing. Like, it's literally blocking the whole board because it shows up right in the middle. Like, that's a cool indicator that it's happening. But it's also very annoying that's blocking, like, your view of everything. Well, I think one of the bigger other ones is Fortress Gate because it's like almost literally a square. There's a couple of them. It depends on like their proportion of troop art relative to their frame border. Because just because a unit's bigger doesn't necessarily mean that their ratio of how much space they take up on the square is higher. I'm not sure what troop actually is the most. Because it depends more so how they made the file of it. Because it's just calling from the file. So it'd have to be a troop that's like almost entirely a square of visual. Regardless of what shape it is. If it has like effects that make it take up almost like a solid square. Like he's almost like that, but he has some room at the top where you can kind of see off the corner. But then there's troops that are more human-like that take up a lot less room. You can't play on instant against a goblin team. You'll watch your team instantly die. That would be funny. Imagine if they had like autoplay for the enemy turn, where it doesn't show anything that they do, it just does everything. And then one turn, like you take your starting turn, and you let's say you take like a let's say we take this blue to skull. And then we instantly see a you lost screen. That would be so funny. I kind of want that now. Like you're just casually playing against a goblin team, but they have it so the enemy auto does their entire turn. You take your starting move, and then you die literally seconds later. Oh, that would be so funny. That would fix the goblin teams taking too long to do their move issue, if nothing else. But that would be so funny with infinite loop teams. Take one move. Sorry, you lost. Shouldn't have played against a goblin team. No, you could easily just freeze it, though. Though the problem is, if you're using, like, flash freeze as your guarantee first turn freeze, most goblin teams run one impervious with that one red-blue troop. And if your flash freeze hits that one troop, you could still insta-die. If they get a good enough starting turn. Though goblins do need a little bit of mana to get rolling. Though if they get lucky enough, they could still get all of it turn 1. Yeah, I really wish there was real PvP in this game. I'm not sure we're ever going to get it. Even if they have to do a side game mode for it. Like, literally make a brand new game mode that sole purpose is balancing a PvP-like situation. But I really, really wish Gems of War would get a real PvP mode. An actual player versus player thing. Even if it's only available for one single mode that they have to balance completely around it being actual PvP. Because they're going to have to. There's no way they can let you just use any of the 1,000 plus troops, any team you want, against someone else using this exact same thing. The balance on that would be so horrifically bad. Because the game's not balanced around that at all. It's not even balanced to begin with, let alone around that specifically. But if they made a really specific game mode, with like a draft system or something that would balance it, but some kind of system, I can see that being a thing. Like, they still could do that. They added co-op to Puzzle Quest 3. Maybe they're experimenting with it, and then they'll add it to Gems of War. The only problem is co-op on Puzzle Quest 3 is super buggy. So I could only imagine what would happen if they tried doing it in Gems of War. But if they could make like an actual PvP mode in Gems of War, that'd be so insane. We'd play it so much, especially if it was actually balanced properly, which is a concern, but they do something to it that would make it a lot easier to balance, because there's no way you can use all the troops in the game. It'll either have to be some kind of draft system or some kind of like seasonal rule set, kind of like what Pokemon does, because Pokemon's competitive scene normally has like when they have like the casual in-game version of it. I'm not sure how actual competitive is, but it normally has like a rotating rule set where you can only use like certain options. And given that Pokemon has like almost 900 options, and Gems of War, you know, has like almost 1,100, you kind of have to like have some kind of restriction. Like, oh, you can only use like this kind of thing, or some kind of draft, or some kind of something. Because if you allow literally everything, the meta is going to be so broken beyond belief. It's literally going to be who can infinite loop the other one the quickest. Likely whoever does turn 1. Because you can just double empower into whatever insta-kill team you want. Which obviously it would not be like that. They'd balance it in a way where it wouldn't be like that. I don't think it would be exactly like Arena Draft, but somewhat. Because Arena Draft is too limiting. But I can see having like a pick ban system, or maybe something a little bit quicker. Because the only problem with the pick ban system, like that would work really good if they want to go like super competitive. I highly doubt they want to do something like that. But the problem with that in casual, like if you're just going to be playing a bunch of PvP battles, is it's very slow to go through something like that. Like the most ideal thing would be, yeah, something almost like Arena. Either something like Arena or some kind of restriction where it is literally impossible for you to ever make anything overly broken. Almost like how world event restrictions are. Except a bit different. Because the average world event options that you have are generally not anything that are like super ultra meta. Like there occasionally something squeezes in where you can, but a lot of the options are normally not too bad. The only problem with that is that's a little bit overly limiting to what you can use. But yeah, essentially it would probably be most like Arena. Though I do feel like they need to tweak it some compared to Arena, because Arena system's not the greatest. Like, they can't just move what currently is Arena and just slap PvP on it, that would not work. Plus, it wouldn't even really feel that new if they did that. It would definitely have to be some other kind of system. Because it would definitely flop if they did it that way. Even if it functionally worked properly, which is a whole technical thing in itself, on if it would or wouldn't, and it likely wouldn't. But, they definitely can't just, like, copy-paste what Arena is. It would definitely have to be particularly distinct from what Arena is. But it's one of the features I probably wanted the most out of anything from Gems of War. We would play it so competitively if it actually came out. Like, I haven't tried for a rank 1 leaderboard for anything in Gems of War in so long. If they added real PvP, we're making top 10 in the world in, like, week 1, 100%. I don't care how long it takes. We will stream literally every second of every day to get there. Maybe even try all the way for number 1. Like, if they added that, we are grinding that into the ground for the initial thing. We actually did that for Guild Wars. We won, as a guild, the very first Guild War ever. And if they did the same thing for, like, a weekly PvP real-time thing, we're winning the very first ever real-time PvP tournament, or whatever the system is in-game. Like, I'll stream it for 10+ hours every day if we have to. What if they had a team switching mechanic for Gems of War? That'd be kind of cool. I know in the Sword and Shield Pokemon game, I didn't play it much, but I believe you could queue up like 5 competitive teams. Plus you could save codes for any team you ever wanted. Kind of like how in Gems of War you can technically have infinite teams if you saved it. I think they had like 5 slots though. So you could easily switch from one competitive team to a different one. And then you could use a code kind of like what Gems of War has to auto-set any team in the game. Or any team that you've already uploaded the code thing for. It's a little bit different than how Gems of War's thing work, because you can literally build any team out of Gems of War system. Whereas the other one you have to have made the team and then upload the team. Whereas Gems of War already has literally every combination already coded. Oh, so we'll throw that down. But yeah, I do feel like most comparisons would kind of go to Pokemon, just because they actually have a really similar amount of options. Because I believe the Pokemon game with the most amount of Pokemon, which I think is Sword and Shield right now, even though there's 800 something, I believe about 700 of them exist within the game. Or like 600, 700. Or Gems of War is at about 1,000. And if you count ones that are actually viable, it's more like 500. Because obviously there's a good number of troops in Gems of War that, if you were in a PvP-like situation, are basically non-existent. Though, in all fairness, Pokemon's kind of the same way, too. Like, you wouldn't ever use a first evolution Pokemon in almost any instance. Second evolution, you kind of can, because there's actually an item that makes them somewhat viable. But, you would never use a first evolution Pokemon in any rule set. Let's see, we'll throw that down. Well, he did say on one stream that, he might eventually do it, but if they ever added PvP, it would literally be like a 1 year or too long endeavor to actually get it working in the game. Like, they would literally have to pause all other updates and, like, just focus entirely on that. Which is almost something that 505 games would never approve. Like, even if Surian was like, okay, we absolutely need PvP in this game. Like, I'm not sure he could even get it past 505, and he probably wouldn't even bother trying. Because there would be so much less content that would come out during that time if they spent at least, like, a whole year trying to get PvP working. Plus, even once they get it up, they still have to balance it even more. Because, you know, whatever state they release it in will not be balanced. And for something like that, they actually have to balance. Like, single-player stuff not being as balanced isn't as big an issue. But if you're doing, like, an actual PvP, that definitely has to be balanced. Which means it definitely will not allow you to use all 1,000 plus troops in the game. It would definitely have to have a certain pool. And then they just have to balance that pool of troops. Maybe even a whole line of just PvP exclusive troops too. Like Bounty Hunter has a whole line of troops that you basically like only ever use in Bounty Hunter. Unfortunately, there's only like a few viable teams, almost all of them being Kaki. But they kind of did that for Bounty Hunter. These realistically use 4 Bounty Hunter troops every single time. And while there's only like one real meta, or maybe a few depending on how you look at it, they have added quite a few troops. There's like what, 2-3 dozen bounty troops? Like if they added 100 PvP troops, that could be a thing. And then slowly add more over time. I feel like it would pull from already existing troops, but they literally could just make several dozen troops specifically only for the PvP mode. But you can still use outside that mode, obviously. But, you know, they'd be geared towards balancing a PvP mode. And they could all have a trait that only takes effect when you're in PvP. There already is a trait that exists that does that. However, it's a really bad trait. There's actually 2 of them. Honor is one of them, where in PvP gains 10 to all stats. And another one is, I think it's called I think Fortress Gate has it, I think. It's something that a lot of troops these days don't have on anymore. But Defender. Allies gain 3 armor when defending in PvP. Also, I thought it was just itself. Apparently it's all allies now. Was it always like that? I don't remember. But those are the only 2 ones, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that trigger in PvP. But they can make a whole line of troops that have effects that are actually, like, not useless like these. Like, Honors is not too bad. Like, 10 to all stats, that's not too bad. But, like, literally just have a whole line of troops, several dozen, that can only be used in, like, this PvP... Or not only used, but, you know, they're geared... They're the only ones that could be used for the PvP mode. But they could be used outside the PvP mode. And if you use them in PvP, like this trait, they get more. Because Honor is probably the best example of that. Like, this is like a true example of like a troop that could exist. Where its special skills like, oh, you gain a bunch of stats when you use in PvP. And it's geared towards this PvP mode. And you can still use it outside of that mode. But you'd most likely only want to use it for Guild War or actual, you know, the actual other PvP mode. You know, the standard one that currently exists. Because it gains a bonus while you're in that mode. So there already are mechanics that are like that. They would just need to make a bunch of troops that are geared towards that mode that all do something like that. Basically, like, they need to make, like, 50 versions of Honor that all do something different and then make the entire PvP mode only usable with those troops. And then there you go. You got a balanced mode. And these troops are still useful outside of the mode. Is this going to be a midnight stream? Kind of. Because I think we're going to go for... Oh, no, I think we'll go for one more chest right now. I'm not sure. Because I do want to go do the Mario Kart thingy. I did want to stream that tonight. And if anyone has the game, feel free to join us. I think initially I'm going to be playing single player, though, just to look at some of the tracks. Because I'm not sure how easily you can get into them in multiplayer. I'm actually not 100% sure on that. Actually, I'm not even sure how that would work in a multiplayer sense. But we'll mess with them in single player initially. But if anyone has the game, we can go make up a lobby or kind of play together. I'm not sure how many people we can get for it. But hopefully public lobbies also allow for that to cycle pretty quickly. I'm not sure exactly how it works. We'll be doing that pretty soon, actually. I'll go for another chest or 2, and then switch over to that. Because I don't want to stream too much past midnight today, but I do want to go do the Mario Kart thing tonight, because I probably won't be able to stream during the day tomorrow. So I want to do it tonight then. But I'll probably do that in like, I want to say 15 minutes from now. Because even once we end this stream, I need to go set up the other stream. Just need to get a nice little thumb. Oh gosh, another verse 2. Okay, we'll go for like, I guess we'll just go for one more chest and call it then for now. And then we'll switch over to Mario Kart. It's going to take me about 10-15 minutes to get the Mario Kart stream going though. So if anyone still has any other questions, let me know. Gems of War related, or otherwise. Oh, you gotta kill the gnomes. Oh, you still got a whole nother 3 days. We've been having a vault event all week. That is fine if not. All good. I just don't get too paranoid about farming vault events these days. I guess it makes more sense if you're still like trying to get a bunch of loot to progress through the game. but I don't feel like I'm ever that paranoid about grinding Vault Event these days. Like, I used to a lot more back in the day, but we just have so much loot now, where it's like, oh yeah, it's a Vault Event. Like, I'll still grind it, but I definitely don't spend, like, a huge amount of time these days, I don't feel like. And even based on our poll, didn't 0 to 10 hours actually win when we polled it on Monday? Which I was actually really surprised. I think the second... No, the category that we're in this week is actually the lowest voted one. It was 25 to... No, it was 20 to 35 hours. I was actually the lowest option. I think the second highest was 10 to 20. The absolute highest was 0 to 10, oddly enough. The third highest at like 20%, I think, was over 35 hours. Oh, okay. Final chest. It's actually something good. Oh, we did it. Okay, we're ending on this chest. Hopefully it's the one. We still have St. Patrick's Day luck. It's not over yet. This is a 5x Horde Mimic. This will also be back-to-back 5 times if we get one here, because our previous one was a 5 times. Which would be the first and probably only time we would ever back-to-back 5 times. Oh, that'd be perfect for St. Patrick's Day. Oh, don't kill that. Oh, I gotta be careful. I could actually lose here if I'm not super careful. It's very unlikely, though. If he devours to devour to devour. Alright, right here. Moment of truth. 5 times chess. Right there. 100%. No! Well, we got 2 times at least. I was gonna say, better not troll me with pure guard again. It gave me pure Orpheus, which isn't as bad, but not the greatest. Oh, there we go. And our tribute's ready. Well, there we go. At least we got to end on a Mimic. And that brings us to a total of all 2s. That's funny. Well, at least we got all 2s. So we found 22 2 chests and 2 5 chests. 2 2 2. So we got 2 2s and 2 for the 5. 5 2s. But there we go. Anyways. So yeah, we'll probably end it here for now. I hope all of you had a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. We'll be messing around with Mario Kart after this. So if you guys still want to watch something, I'll be switching that to another little stream thingy. And then we'll be doing that probably for the rest of tonight. Probably for an hour, 2 hours. I don't know. We'll see how long we go. It depends how exciting the new maps are. I'm not even sure what all of them are. I know Coconut Mall got added. I'm actually not sure what the other 7 maps are, so we'll find out in a bit. I'll probably play through them initially on single player, and then anyone who has the game, we can just go make up a lobby or join a public one together or something. We'll figure out something when we go and do it. Aside from that, next Gems of War stream will be tomorrow night, same time as always. You guys know it by now. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 hours prior to now tomorrow. We'll be farming a bunch, trying to get this Mimic finally. Please drop it already. We were unable to cash in our St. Patrick's Day luck. We were able to find a 5 times. Unfortunately, that 5 times had 10 guards, so hopefully we'll get better luck next time. At least we got a 5 times if nothing else. That was still cool. But we'll continue to hunt. And if any of you still want to grind, still plenty of time. Highly advise doing so if you have the spare time. It is a Vault event right now. So if you want to spend every waking second or as much time as you can, however you want to end up doing it, it's basically the start of Vault event weekend. It's already still going. It has been all week. But normally 4 hours from now is when a Vault event would normally start. So if you've been waiting for the weekend, well, it's about to start right now. And it still goes on. Well, it's still going on right now, obviously. But it's also going on for another 3 days and 4 hours. So you still got plenty of time. It's basically halfway through. So you still have plenty of time to grind it out. Anyways, guys. Well, gosh, we have so few pity keys, but it's only because I only ran 1 Palooza. It feels so weird seeing the pity actually be so low. We might need to run some more Paloozas later. The only problem with running Palooza, though, is you can't run Palooza quickly while also running for Mimics quickly. You have to kind of choose one or the other, and we've kind of been going a bit more down the Mimic route. Because personally, we don't need the Vault loot as much. So I've been going all in on the Mimic while still getting extra loot. Because we're still getting a bunch of gnomes along the way. But anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by as always. Enjoy the rest of your week. Catch you guys soon. Stay safe out there. And we'll be back in about like 10 minutes for the new Mario Kart update. The first one in like 5 years. Not counting the mobile version. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you so much for stopping by. Goodbye.